Hello, welcome to Tech Transform. In this video, I am going to start the SparkSQL introduction. In my last videos, we were covering all the concepts related to Spark core. But this is the also SparkSQL is also one of most important component inside a Spark. So basically, when you're playing with the structured data or semi-structured data, you should use Spark SQL for all your interaction with the data, because it's very efficient and you can write your code like SQL. You can follow SQL syntax, because some of the developers who doesn't belong to programming background, they are coming from SQL background, so they had a problem with playing with the RDD and writing and optimizing code using RDD. So utilizing Spark SQL, they can query the data, not like RDD. They can use SQL syntax to query the data. So you can see we already covered the Spark core. So Spark core is the building blocks of or base or backbone of all the components in Spark. So Spark core, we have covered the main concept called RDD, resilient distributed dataset. So resilient distributed dataset RDD has an evolution to data frame then dataset. So in Spark 2.0, data frame introduced for to make all the unstructured data or semi-structured data to give a structure format, and you can and moreover you can play with the structured data using Spark SQL. So first RDD came, then in Spark 2.0 data frame came, then the right now the current thing is dataset. So we are going to see a little difference about these two structure also. Let's see what in the next slide. SparkSQL Overview. So we already discussed that it is a Spark module for structured data processing like ORC, Parquet, Avro, and MySQLs. If we can manipulate data using SparkSQL in two ways. Either we have a data frame or dataset API, means we can convert the unstructured data to data frame and dataset, and we can write the query and we can apply map function constructors and all those to apply the logic in order to get our desired output. Or also we can directly run SQL query on the data frame and dataset to directly run the query like SQL syntax. So these are the two ways we can do. So data frame, so here data frame and dataset, the difference between is that data frame, you can right now the RDD is containing the unstructured row of text. It can contain anything, but data frame is like you're giving a column to each value in a row. So that's what the RDD evolved to data frame. So you have a column rows like syntax, and but there is no data type associated with that data frame. So that's what your data frame is not type safe at compile time. It's untype safe. Dataset is the latest thing, and it is compile. It will give you all the errors in compile time, and it is a very type safe. Means it's a data frame, you can say it's a row object of dataset, but dataset itself is it's structured data, type safe data, strongly typed data. Let's say you have an object of person having property, let's say name, ID, and address of that particular person. So if you're going to create a dataset of the person object, first you have to create a case class of person. Means you have a property, and that each property each having that specific fixed data type. So if you're assigning any other value, or if you're trying to access any other column that is not available in your dataset, you're going to get it reported at a compile time rather than runtime. But in data frame, let's say even if you don't, if even that particular column is not existed in your data frame and you try to access it, your code is not going to report any error at compile time, and you're going to face that problem in runtime. So it is not type safe. And sometimes you're directly deploying that code into production, and in deployment you have a lot of headache to rectify some issues. So dataset is compile time, and it's type safe, so it's strongly typed, so we should use dataset. Also using these two, you can write your SQL queries. Also you can directly interact with data frame or dataset using SQL query, or also with their functional way also, like we used to write lambda expression and all those. In those ways also we can manipulate the data. So working with the structured data, so as we already know, that a data frame is really just a data set of row objects, just a row object, nothing, no schema is in built, only the column name will be there, no data type will be associated with that. But dataset can explicitly wrap a struct or type. It can wrap a type. Let's say I have a type of person. I have created an object. I have created a class for person, and I can wrap a data of a type person. Wrap a data of a type double. So it is going. This dataset is going to contain only string and double. If you are going to give anything other than this, it's going to report you at compile time. This dataset is of person objects. It's going to, if you're going to give if you're not going to give person object for through this is going to report error. It's going to give you compile time error. But this data frame is actually not going to give you any error because it's compile time. Like Python, it's also a dynamic language. So here your type is inferred dynamically at runtime, but here your type is inferred, or data type safety has been checked, everything has been done at compile time. Data frame, yeah, that's what I told. Data frame schema is inferred at runtime, but it is dataset can be inferred at compile time. So also, if you want to convert your RDD, you can directly convert into datasets with 2.ds, and you have to provide your case class, means what type of structure you want to give to your RDD. Because this is unstructured data, you want to convert unstructured data to structured data, means datasets. You have to give a schema. So a schema is nothing but a case class where you're going to specify, like, let's say person is a case class. So here you have a name, ID and address field with the data types. SparkSQL, if you want to use SparkSQL's classes and methods provided by Spark, initially for the Spark core we were used to depend only on the Spark context methods, but here is a new object we have, that is called a Spark session. So in Spark 2.0, Spark session has been introduced. So it's going to contain both. It's containing a Spark context also when we are using with SparkSQL or datasets or data frame. These are all the methods related to those also are coming in the Spark session. So you can treat this as a Spark session like you're opening a connection in your ADO.NET or in your SQL server. You're opening a connection, playing with those, and finally you're closing the connection. So Spark session you can treat like that. So using Spark session, basically you can connect, you can create data frame, you can create data set, you can connect to any database, you can convert your data frame dataset as external tables, and you can make your SparkSQL as a database server where other technologies can connect to this dataset data frame and export the data. Also, it's provide you JDBD or ODBC driver. You can connect to any other database and pull the data. Okay, and once you're done with this, playing with the Spark sessions object, you should close the particular. You can close the session. So that's what the normal we used to do. In upcoming videos, I am going to come up with what are the actual difference between RDD, data frame, dataset, how data frame is useful, how data frame is dataset is useful, when to use data frame, when to use dataset. These all are going to come with my upcoming video. So for SparkSQL related, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.